Rappers who share the same baby mama. The last one will shock you. Did you know some rappers actually have kids with the same woman? First up, Future and Bow Wow. Both had a child with Joey Chavis, the model and dancer. Bow Wow had her first, but Future slid in later and had a son with her too. Talk about ATL drama. And guess what? They both still speak highly of her. Respectfully. Next is Lil Wayne and Nipsey Hussle. Yep, they both share a baby mama, Lauren London. She had a son with Wheezy before falling in love with Nipsey and having another son. Now she's known more for being Nipsey's queen, but the Lil Wayne connection still surprises fans. Kindly like and watch the video below. Same baby mama, different legends. Who do you think handled it best?
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach him real well. Salutations to the elect feeding the sheep of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. This is Brother Barak, and I'm back with another lesson now. I'm going to be doing this topic on a woman shall come past a man. As you can see in that video, you got complete folly where, these Jake men, a lot of these rappers, and not just rappers, but everybody, and especially in the Israelite, the Israelite man, he's dealing with a woman who belongs to another man, and this is just complete and utter madness, Now it should be the other way around, where the man he can have multiple women, but now it's a woman, and she has multiple baby daddies, multiple men put his seed inside of her, So now she's basically a breeding pot for just all these different men. This is the book of Jeremiah 31:22. And it says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." And that's exactly what you see happening now. These men, they get a couple dudes to lay with them. Then they start charging them for child support. Then you got one dude's, one woman's baby daddy coming to their house with another. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play a clip.
I'm doing too fucking much. Move back. Fuck is he talking about? No, tell this bitch ass, get the fuck up.
Yeah, so as you can see, you got multiple baby daddies now coming to your house, and then you commit adultery. You going with another man, and then he finds out, and then that man gets jealous. So I'm gonna pull out the scripture. And it says, Proverbs 6:34, it says, "For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance." And that's exactly what's happening, man. You got just complete, madness, man. And these dudes are okay with that, because, they're just, they basically, the Lord is not dealing with them, They don't have this wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai. Where these dudes just go with one woman, and then their woman ends up cheating on them. Well, ultimately, how do I say this? They're not going to be in order till there's a calamity, a great collapse, because then what happens is these women, what happen, they end up back in their natural order, Yeah, but until then, until there's Jacob's trouble, man, until these calamities start happening, and these women are just gonna be completely bugged out, because right now nothing has happened, so they're living in illusion, where they think that they can beat up a man, they think that they can live on their own without a man, they think they can just they think they can do the jobs of a man, they think they can be in the military. They think they can just be whatever, man, and the truth is, they're meant to be keepers at home. They're not meant to be going out gathering abroad, going out dressing like a prostitute. That's not their job, right? There's a book of Isaiah 32:9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters, and give ear unto my speech." And that's exactly what's happened, man. You know, these women are at ease right now. You know, they have it all. They have, you know, the society respects them. You know, it gives them a good life. You know, the law favors them. You know, you can be a woman married to a dude for one day, divorce him, take all his money, half his money, right? You got certain women saying, this man got me pregnant. This man my baby daddy. You know, and that man don't have anything to do with her. You know, but she want money. You know, and you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, until Lord comes back, you know, most people, man, most of these people are just gonna be how do I say it? You know, you might have to be okay with, you know, not having a woman, man. You know, because it might just save you the you know, the headspace. And a lot of these women, you know, what happens is, you know, a lot of these men, you know, they might be in this truth, but then they fall out because of what? Because they get a woman, and they're giving all their seed, all their energy to a woman. You know, and people, there's this fucking saying in Babylon, you know, happy wife, happy life. Man, fuck that, you know. Because then ultimately this bitch ain't gonna respect you at the end of the day. You giving her everything just for her to take it from you. You know, it completely bug the fuck out. You know, your woman should be serving you, and not the other way around. You know, like you got guys like, you know, Solomon, you know, David, hundreds of wives. You think this guy was, you know, you think he was, you know, giving all this time and energy to a woman, you know, hanging out with them on the couch and watching TV and doing all that bullshit, you know? Nah, man. So, you know, it's the thing, man. You gotta, when you get into this thing, you somehow get a woman, you gotta make sure you don't put that plow down. You gotta make sure you continue to do the work, feed the sheep, Yahweh Shem Shai. You know? That's what happens, you know. A lot of these dudes just they fall out, they get weak, they get soft. That's not what you want, you know. We're supposed to endure unto the end, you know. We're supposed to, you know, we're not supposed to how do I say it, you know, crash out over these bitches either. There's a lot of dudes. What happened is, you know, they find out their woman cheat on them, and then they crash out. You know, fuck them, fuck your woman, man. And honestly, fuck them kids too. You know, so sometimes you gotta just, you know, if your woman takes your kids, you know, or something happens, you know, you might get them back on the other side, but on this side, we might not be able to, you know. Sometimes you just gotta let these things go, you know. And it's crazy to say, but this is a society we living in, you know, because Esau's system, they favor the side of the woman. You know, woman will make shit up. You know, you got you know, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull out another clip. So right here it says, woman admits she made up rape claims that put innocent man in jail and reveals she targeted him over his creepy looks. So these women be just making shit up, and you know, maybe they're doing it for money or whatever. You know, you got one woman who got $1 million for making some shit up, and then after she came out and said, nah, that didn't happen. You know, years later, these women don't give a fuck about you. They'll fucking put you in jail and find another dude, you know? Because you got dudes in jail thinking they're baby mama or whatever, you know, thinking that their baby mama gonna stay with them, stay loyal to them, man. Nah, that ain't gonna happen, bro. You know? This book of Amos 7:17, it says, therefore, thus says the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. And that captivity is what? You know, Babylon the Great. You You know, most of us were scattered to Babylon, America, you know, this fucking disgusting place. You know, and ultimately, you know, you see these curses coming upon our people, especially the Southern Kingdom, man. You know, Eve out here being a hoe, you know, 80, 90, 100 bodies, a single woman. You know, the woman be 20 years old, have 100 bodies, man, you know. So that's a crazy thing, you know. This place is completely defiled, man. And it's very, 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 very rare, you know, you will come across a woman who is righteous, you know, very, very rare, you know. And those who do have a woman like that, well, they're blessed, man, you know. You hope and pray that, you know, the Lord don't take that away from you, you know. Some men will have it better than others, right? But yeah, man, you know, this is what's going to be happening, you know. Until you know, Jacob's trouble, we're going to have to, you know, deal with this type of nonsense. So yeah, that's all that I got, man. Hopefully this was edifying. You know, I would like to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone who teach and rule well. I'm going to say Shalom.